major adjustment?
Well, she's asking one.
Sorry, I'm quiet. What are your expectations of what you want to see from him?
Well, first of all, I think the majority of Andres' career has been a center. That's his natural position. He played center for me in Grand Rapids, and I thought he did a very good job. Certainly, there's some benefit on the wing, getting behind guys with his speed, but there's also benefit having speed up the middle. So I just want him to play real good hockey. He's been real good so far. I think his work ethic's been great. I think his compete level's been great. If he does those two things, he's an excellent hockey player. So I'm hoping he can build on the first 2 days of camp.
Can playing center help keep a guy, especially a younger guy, more engaged throughout the game because you have more responsibilities?
Potentially, I don't know that that's necessarily the case, but you certainly have to be accountable defensively to maybe a little greater degree than you do as a wing. I mean, it's just a little more responsibility. But I would also say, his quickness on the puck is something that we want out of our centers. We want our centers to be in position to outnumber. And when hit with him at center, you have 4 centers that are real quick on the puck, real tenacious, and hopefully we can outnumber and get out of our zone as fast as possible.
How can he benefit from playing with a smart guy like Thomas? I mean, we saw it 2 years ago, briefly, but...
Well, I think, if I'm an offensive player, I want to play with Thomas Vanek. He thinks the game at a level that very, very few guys think it in the NHL. He knows how to create space. He knows how to draw people towards him and put pucks into space. I think, I don't want to speak for AA, but I would think he'd be real happy with him on his wing right now. And I think it's win-win. To play with Thomas, you have to be a fairly smart player. You can't just be skilled. And I think AA is a real smart hockey player too. So I think it can be a real dynamic combo. We'll see as we go through.
Do you think the improvement in the face-off circle can just come from more repetitions or any specific work that he would need to do?
Yeah, I think he can. Part of it's just bearing down and making it real important to you. My understanding is when Pavel came over here, Pav wasn't the best face-off guy ever because it wasn't real important in Russia. But then when you realize the importance of it, you bear down and you'll get better at it in a hurry. And I know for one thing, if he is playing with Thomas, Thomas likes ozone face-off, so he'll put lots of pressure on him to make sure he bears down and does a good job. And then the other side of it is the wing's got to do a good job helping out. But I think he's got the technique and the ability to be a real good face-off guy. He's just got to make it real important to him.
Anthony was talking about how much he enjoys playing with Larkin and Bertuzzi. What do you like about how those guys complement each other?
Well, you have 3 real good players. Number one, you got good pieces in the sense that Bird is an F1 on the forecheck. He's a net front guy. That allows the other 2, not that they're not hard on the forecheck, but allows the other 2 to use their skill. But one thing where Bird's a pretty special player is very few guys are that hard have such ability. Like he thinks the game at a high level. He's got real good talent. So I think Bird's got a chance to be a real good player, and I think the 3 of them together can make a good line.
Lark's speed too, it kind of forces the other 2 to keep up.
Yeah, if you're going to play with Lark, you don't want to be behind him all night, so you got to play at a high pace, and so I think it's a good point. Now, I also hope that the 3 of them can become a real good ozone line too. They've been a good rush group, I think, but they need to be a real good ozone group so we can spend less time defending, more time in the opposite end. I think they have it in them for sure, and I think it's just learning how to protect the puck, use cutbacks, use each other, spread the zone. So hopefully we can build good chemistry.
Does Bertuzzi give more Does he give more flexibility with Mantha, who can do net front or?
Yeah, no, it's good. It's for sure. I think Mantha's learned that the net is a spot where if you get 2 lots, you're going to score what I would term some easy goals. But having Bert there just allows, some flexibility for him to utilize the other part of his skill set, which is the real good shot too.
With the way Andreas can break away and his ability to close, I mean, that 3rd line could potentially be a difference maker. I mean, with the talent you have on it.
There's no question that with AA and Vanek and whoever else is in that spot, if I played them together, they would be as dangerous an offensive line as we have. They're again, I think those 2 have special abilities, what they're good at offensively. So that's a real positive. I also say that, I think for us to be good, we're going to have to be a real good 4-line team. I just think that's the reality of it. And so, hopefully we've got guys on lines that match their skill sets and then guys with good roles and go out and play to their identity as a line.
It's applicator you plan to
That's who I had in there to start. Camp. Obviously, he's not here, but I'm not set on anything yet by any stretch. We're just kind of giving guys opportunities to see how they do.
With Advocator, is he gonna? Do you know if he'll be back for at any point this camp? Or?
Yeah, Justin and I have to have a conversation. I was letting him, work through the birth of his child, and then I'll talk to him here this afternoon. And he will not participate in the red white tomorrow, though. It was a little, it was just one of those things where we thought maybe we had more time, and that didn't work out.
With Veleno and Ferk, those two guys, any?
Ferk will be out until at least we get back to Detroit. I'll know more once we get back to Detroit. Veleno, I hope, plays in the red-white game tomorrow. I don't know that answer for sure. We'll decide in the morning.
You obviously saw Mike Green before he had the surgery, and now that you see him out here, does he look different to you?
Well, the only way he would look different is if, and it would be hard to really see it with the naked eye, but I think he made some comments that he felt tentative, and tentative is a hard way to play. I thought he was still a real effective player, but if as the year went on he was tentative, I think he'll be a much better player not being tentative. I think he practices so good, he practices so hard that he generally looks good in practice, but he certainly hasn't looked like he's missed a beat.
Andreas said he believes he can be consistent productively if he gets the minutes, and you always say players have to earn minutes. What's the balance there of, do you just say, all right, he needs 15 minutes a night, or?
Who's this?
Andreas.
Oh, Andreas. Well, it's one of those things that I think any player would argue, more minutes will equal more production. I think that would be the mindset of most players. I don't know that that's always necessarily true. I also argue that there's lots of players in the league that have found ways to be very, very good without lots of minutes. And then what generally happens then is more minutes follow. You just look around the league. So I don't think we're going to be a team where one or two guys dominate some minutes. I think, as I said earlier, we're going to be a four-line team. I think lots of guys will have opportunities to get minutes. The other thing I have to do a real good job of this year is, I'd like to make it highly competitive between the lines, and whatever line's really going, they got to keep getting lots of ice time. And Dan Bosmo will be a guy who I'll lean on to make sure he's watching that, which line's really going, and let's get them lots of ice time. And so, as guys are getting ready for pregame and getting ready for warm-ups, I want them thinking about there's no way I'm going to let that line outplay me tonight, and we need to create that type of competitiveness within our group.
Why was it important for you guys to get a guy like Bernier? How much could he help this team?
Well, I think for us to be a team that's successful at the end of the year, that isn't, that succeeds to a much greater degree than we did a year ago, we need to have upper to elite level goaltending, and I think it's very, very difficult to put all that on one goalie in today's NHL, especially the games are just so close every single night that you have no room for error at all. When the teams were separated more, you could be a goalie and maybe let in 2 weak ones and then make a couple big saves and you won 5-2 and everyone's happy. Now you lose that game 2-1, and so you have to be at such a high level in order to win. I just think having 2 real quality goalies gives us that much better, or that better of a chance to make sure we get elite goaltending on a nightly basis.
Like the competitiveness of day one, did day 2 live up to?
Yeah, you know what? The first group wasn't very good to start. They just weren't very good to start at all. But I thought they got better as it went along, and I thought the second 2 groups were great. So after a real hard day on day 1, today was a different hard. Today was more of a skating hard. But I thought the guys were really, really good. I thought the best group was the last group there after scrimmage, and I thought they were great. So overall, I was happy with it. I wasn't happy at all at the start of the first group, but like I said, I think they got better.
Just the lack of crispness.
Yeah, we couldn't make a tape-to-tape pass or doing easy drills. Just a little bit we didn't know what we were doing. Like, let's plug in and be ready to go, and we weren't plugged in yet. We were still sleeping a little bit, but I thought they got better as it went along.
So they had to do a couple of laps, but can you talk about the willingness to crack the whip there?
Well, that's nothing, it's something I've always done. I mean, when you're not executing, I believe in immediate consequence, whether it's as a coach or a parent or whatever. So that was the immediate consequence. We weren't performing, and let's reset ourselves here a little bit.
Shifting gears, are you looking forward to playing in the game tonight?
Did you see me yesterday?
Yeah, you look real good.
I agree with you. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. You got to get your eyes checked though.
Yeah, I know, but
Obviously, besides the Stanley Cup winning pedigree, what do you think the biggest thing Dan Bylsma brings the wins?
Well, part of it is what you mentioned, experience. He's been through lots of different experiences with lots of different types of players. I think he's an extremely hard worker, and I think he's really intelligent. I think, him and I got a real good chance to work at the World Championships together, and as that went along, I really liked our interaction. I really liked the ability to talk about things, debate. With the idea that we were trying to get to the best answer. I think he's a guy who's very strong in his opinions, but is also very willing to listen, and at the end of the day understands my position as well as anybody, that I'm the one that has to ultimately make that final decision. He gets that. He's been in that seat. I thought we had a great working relationship there. I think it's carried forward to here. At the end of the World Championships, I said two things to him. I said, one, you're too good a coach not to be coaching, and two, I'd love to have you come join our staff, and it's worked out, and I'm real happy about it.